Hope is finally on the horizon for climate change. But is our energy transition from fossil fuels to electricity sustainable?
Through unprecedented global legislation, most new vehicles around the world will be electric by 2035, causing a downturn in carbon emissions, but a spiked upturn in lithium mining.
Projections show that by 2040, the world may find itself in dire shortage of this precious element intrinsic to battery production.
However, a newly discovered trove in the United States may offset the world's lithium demand for decades to come, but there's a dire price to be had.
Lithium. It's not just your dad's favorite grunge song. This lightweight metal is a heavy subject. So...
Well, are you telling me then that that the audience is now old enough that the dads are me?
Well,
are you kidding me?
Well beyond, yes. Now we're getting into it's. I mean, we're getting close to grandpa music. I know,
and I like the lithium that the women in the 50s used to take in order to get themselves to relax.
Did they used to do that in the 1950s?
Yeah, it was a whole problem.
That's the whole. That's what the
became a
song
whole
is about.
thing.
Is it really?
Oh yeah, it was a whole thing. So I'm not that old, but I'm old enough that our audience is old enough that you say your dad like that's us.
Mr. Carroll, how old were you when that song came out?
I've been 32 years old for over 200 years.
We know this. We know this.
Okay, good. Because and how old is your daughter now?
My beautiful sweet angel is 17 years old.
Oh, no, wait a minute. How old is your son now?
That turkey is 14 years old.
And so I think he might have been the same
He's a
age
beautiful,
as your
sweet turkey, though.
son. He's a
Beautiful, sweet turkey.
I don't think if I
Sweet
call him
turkey.
beautiful sweet, he might get like, no, I'm bad.
Well,
I'm a handsome turkey.
He's a handsome turkey.
Yeah.
No, but if you think about it, that song came out when you were your son's age.
There's a good one.
Good.
That's a
No,
good one.
you know
So
what?
this
Hey,
is the subject.
I promised myself last week that I
Yeah.
wouldn't go for 1,000 years
Banter.
into personal banter. I want to know what this. Let's talk about this. We don't have any time.
Yeah.
I'm out of time.
Let's go to
Well, in
impersonal banter.
1993. No, sorry.
Yeah, 1993.
Well,
the
I'm
band
with you.
started
I
out.
have a lot to say about this.
All right.
I have a lot to say. It's a great topic.
Yeah, it's a great
I love
topic.
it.
So we're going to get into it right away and not dilly-dally.
Don't tarry. We shan't
You're
tarry.
Teddy, especially if your name is Teddy. No, don't Teddy, Teddy.
Don't Vic Tandy.
Don't
Oh, sorry,
Vic
that's
Tandy,
a,
the Tandy,
that's a
Tandy.
real estate guy I've been working with.
Big Tandy.
Okay,
Private eye.
Here we go. Here
He's
we
now
go.
a private eye, by
Is
the
he?
way.
Oh, good.
He upgraded.
He upgraded.
Yeah,
He went from working in real estate to becoming a detective.
We are terrible at
He
this.
started as an engineer in England, and then he went into Los Angeles real estate, and now he's a private detective.
We are terrible at this.
By the way, I knew the moment you said maybe we could just get into the subject. I was like, it's going to be
never happen.
so hard to do.
It'll never happen. Start reading.
Okay. Lithium-ion batteries are a keystone in transitioning away from the world's dependence on fossil fuels, right? Right? We know that. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. It's one of them.
It is. It
One of
is the
them.
path we have chosen.
Yes. Because of their ability to be fully recharged over thousands of charging cycles, these batteries are perfect for almost all devices, especially the one parked in your garage.
Not in my garage.
Not in your garage.
Yes.
I can't park anything in my garage.
I'm supposed to be all about sustainability, but there ain't no I don't have an electric car budget.
Yeah,
you kidding me?
I know. It's
I got a daughter who's 17. You go to college.
Yeah, you can't get a.
Am I allowed to say 3 times?
No, you're not. So make sure you write that
calling
down.
for the Lord's name, yeah.
Yeah. So Jesus help me.
Exactly. There it is.
There it is. That's the one.
We can keep that one.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
However, just one 100 kilowatt electric vehicle battery needs the same energy storage as about 2,000 consumer laptops or 10,000 smartphones. That's a lot of lithium.
Yeah.
Okay? It's a lot of
That's
lithium.
one car.
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
it's
There's
a
a
lot.
lot of cars.
You got
on
to
the road.
understand a little bit here, though. Lithium is added into the mix of nickel and cobalt.
Yeah.
Correct.
Most of it is nickel and cobalt. You just got to understand that lithium is just the kind of the magic zing that makes it work better.
You feel a zing when you touch lithium?
Oh, you kidding me?
So did the wives in the
That's
50s.
Wives in the 50s.
Yeah, you just got to get your tongue a little bit.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and then-
Like we're licking a battery.
Look at a 9 volts.
No, it's so yes. It's just that I'm going to ruin the entire show at the very beginning. Noel ruins the show.
Oh, ready? We're going to put in the Noel Ruins the Show's theme song in 3, 2.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm significantly more concerned about cobalt than I am about about lithium.
Oh.
And we're doing the same thing with cobalt. It's just that because it's not in America, we don't worry about the indigenous land.
Well, nobody knows the Nirvana song Cobalt or the Sirius XM station Cobalt. So we went with lithium.
You're right. Also, it's called a lithium-ion battery because that's the magic, right? And so it is important, and there's less of it, so I get that.
Right.
But we can also make it.
Yes.
And Jake, what the heck do you know about Nirvana songs? You know nothing about that.
If there's one thing I do not know, it's bands in the 90s.
Jacob doesn't know music.
You
do
look
not.
just like that guy on TikTok. That's the weird thing. Anyway.
It's so weird. I hear that every day. With many governments mandating the ban of producing new internal combustion vehicles by 2035, we're seeing an enormous increase in lithium mining.
Sure.
Which brings a lot of worry about supply and demand.
Yes.
But there may be hope.
Why?
I don't know. I was hoping somebody could answer.
I give up. Jacob, how is there hope? Why is there helpless?
On the border of Nevada and Oregon sits a dormant volcano that formed around 16 million years ago. And
Wait, were we around then?
Huh?
We weren't around then.
We weren't around
that. Was before
This is
us.
before the podcast.
This is
by a smidge.
A smidge.
On the border of Nevada and Oregon sits a dormant volcano that formed around 16 million years ago. When it blew up, it spewed out a butt ton of lithium in its magma.
Now, how many kilograms in a butt ton?
I can tell you right here. How much is a butt ton? 20 to 40 million metric tons of lithium.
That's a butt ton.
That's a butt ton.
That's a
butt ton.
big butt ton.
In case there were anybody confused at home, and when somebody says there's a butt ton of that, what they're saying is it's 20 to 40 million metric tons of lithium.
That's a big donk.
Yes,
butt.
it is.
Well, I feel like there's levels of butt.
Yeah.
Right? Like we can't just say every butt's the same. Every butt's different. Every butt's unique. It's like a
is.
fingerprint, if you will.
It is.
I actually am surprised we don't do butt prints.
They-
As opposed to fingerprints when we're trying to find the criminal.
They did start there.
Yeah, good.
They did.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
did.
yeah. But it was a little bit complicated when people to get that in the ink was a little bit hard.
Yes.
And
My,
you drop it down and you just kind of like dip and then you'd have to wipe back and forth and they'd be like, "You're wiping, you're ruining the butt print." And like,
Yeah.
"Oh, sorry, I just like to wipe the butt pad."
Yeah.
So then they'd have to get another pad and then
Right,
you're dip, and
right.
then you sit on the
Yeah.
copy machine.
Yeah.
And then the boss laughs as it goes
Yeah.
and pictures of your butt come
Which
out.
is exactly why I got fired from my last job.
Yeah.
Right? That Christmas party 2023.
And the truth is, criminals got wise. They stopped committing crimes with their butts. So the butt printing was less and less.
Yeah.
They're like, I guess we'll move on to our heads.
Hey, Editor Clayton, I'm so sorry for all the work I'm just giving you.
if only your fingerprints weren't mucking up this entire investigation.
Fingerprints are ruining the butt print. And that's when they realized we've got to do this differently.
Yeah. The criminal underworld is listening to this. They're like, they're giving away all our secrets.
Yeah, well, you said like nowadays people wear gloves so they don't
Yeah.
get caught. In the old days, you'd have to wear a special like plastic butt
Plastic
cover.
butt cover.
This is before people started wearing pants. Like,
Yeah,
it was just,
Just
in
they
the
were just
day.
flapping in the breeze.
Yeah, that's why all the crimes were butt crimes.
Yeah.
Butt crimes. Butt crimes. This fall on NBC.
Butt crimes. Do you know,
God,
who's- do you
I
know who
just
solves
made
the
for
butt
myself
crimes?
so much extra work.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Every time we do some kind of visualization, Clayton's like, "Oh no, another one." I just finished one.
Vic Tandy, PI. I solved butt crimes.
Son of a...
This show's going terribly.
It is. It is. So,
All right, where were we?
okay. So, how much is a
We're in
butt
Act
ton?
Two. We're in Act
20 to 40 million metric tons of lithium, making it the largest known lithium deposit in the world. Okay.
Okay.
So that's how much.
That
it's-
is incredible.
It's
That's a butt
it's a
ton.
very
That's a
very.
butt ton. That's a lot of lithium.
It's a lot of lithium. Okay, so mining is not great for the environment. We know that's terrible. The horrible part about mining lithium is that it usually takes a lot of fossil fuels to heat up the rocks over 1,000 degrees to extract it. Kind of kills the point, right? For working
Yeah.
that hard to get it.
I have said from the beginning that the biggest problem you have with the transition is the amount of energy you need to make a battery that size.
Yeah,
It's a nightmare.
Yeah,
So, making things easier is good for the planet. So maybe I'm going to unruin the show.
yeah. So here's
Maybe.
I've got even
Maybe. If I'm actually going to
Maybe.
unruin the show and we have to roll the song, I'll let you know.
Okay. So, however,
There's a song for that, right?
There is. It goes...
Nolan ruins the show.
It's a good song.
as well,
Actually,
though.
I actually like it more.
You like it more than they...
Yeah,
okay.
well,
We'll go with that then.
I'm not good at listening.
That's true.
I have good news though. However, the way this volcano deposited the lithium into the earth may not require such a process. The
Wow.
dirt of the valleys are rich in lithium sediment that requires little energy and process to separate.
Okay.
So there you go.
Okay.
So the U.S. basically won the lithium lottery.
Did we?
However, nothing is ever that simple.
Yeah. What's wrong, Jacob?
The deposit is on sacred Native American land.
Sacred.
Sacred.
Can we kind of have details on why sacred? Because it's one thing if it's just on the land, right? Because then it's I don't know. Then you just say let's do mineral rights or something.
Do something like that.
But if it's sacred, then they probably don't want to give you the mineral rights because it's sacred.
In 1865, U.S. cavalrymen performed a massacre on the local Paiute tribe right there at Thacker Pass, killing 70 people.
Oh wait, so it's.
Yep.
Wait, so it's even our fault?
Yes. Like most things in this subject material.
Yeah, the United States government started this whole thing.
So content
You know,
warning.
my family was Australian then.
Yeah.
Just wanted to
That's
note
true.
that.
That's true.
Claim living somewhere else. Content warning, this is a little disturbing imagery. They left their victims' disemboweled remains strewn across the sagebrush as a warning to other tribes. So the cavalrymen inadvertently turned the land into a giant native burial ground.
Okay.
The 616 square mile region is currently a reservation for the Fort McDermott Paiute and Shoshone and the Burns Paiute tribes and is an important habitat for sagebrush, golden eagles, and medicinal plants.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So it was a very valuable, large amount of land to these tribes and these people.
So it was valuable, it was large, it was important, it had the conservation value, it had value to the many different tribes that lived in it already.
Yes.
And
then
still
we
is.
And still is. And we mowed across it with the cavalry and killed everybody and then spread their guts everywhere in order to tell all the other tribes we're great and you're terrible
then
and go away.
Basically, the United States government and the cavalry turned it into a giant burial.
Oh my God.
So
this is awful.
It is awful. It is awful. So we've got an interesting thing that we can discuss here. But a few years back, the Bureau of Land Management basically screwed up by not doing their due diligence in getting the permission from the 27 tribes in Nevada to acquire a permit.
We could probably start our own show called Bureau of Land Management, which could be like The Office.
Yeah, or Parks and Rec.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
where you've just got a bunch of clowns in a room just screwing up over and over again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it would be a good show.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
accurate.
We're
I don't even think I think we could just make it a reality show. You could just turn the cameras on and watch them. It would be hilarious.
We do
like
take
Why I'm Not the
issue
One
with the Bureau of Land Management from time to time. Yes.
Only from time to time.
Time.
The purpose is, I mean, look, I think there's some good ideas when you started it, but yeah, that's all right. That's another day. That's another topic. Why are we talking? Who got us into the Bureau of Land Management?
So they screwed up by not doing their due diligence and getting permission from the 27 tribes in Nevada to acquire a permit. They merely notified 3 tribes that they were coming in. Needless to say, there's a lawsuit going on. So
Hey
they're
there,
like,
we're coming in. We're going to use your stuff.
yeah. And they're like, how many tribes are there? 27. How many we ask permission? 3. That's good enough.
Oh,
That's
didn't
fine.
even ask permission. They're like, hey, by the way,
we're coming in. Yeah. So even worse.
So,
no permission.
we're
Just
doing
go
great,
in.
guys.
Yeah,
We're doing great.
Doing great.
Well,
So
I'm glad that we've learned so much and changed over the years,
Yeah,
and that
it's
we're now respectful.
really grown as a people.
150 years later, we're
That's really good.
so much better now.
So as
Well, as someone who's lived through it all,
yeah.
as you have, I
we
gotta say, it's tragic.
It is.
To see how little we learn.
It is.
We're really getting better at complaining about it.
And you live, you learn.
You live, you learn. You live.
More 90s songs coming back.
Alanis.
So as much as this world may need this element found in that caldera,
Yes.
this turns into a horrible situation where once again the U.S. may feel they need to take something that is not theirs from its indigenous people.
Mm-hmm.
This podcast, though, is intended to be a beacon of light in a gloomy environment.
Sure is.
This may feel like a gloomy subject.
Sure does.
But it's only gloomy if we allow it to be.
Okay.
Okay? Why?
Hope.
Because there may be a surprising upside to this situation.
Please.
Hey, by the way, this is Act 3.
We made it to Act 3 already.
made it to Act 3.
Wait, what was Act 2?
Well, that whole
All the
story,
downer stuff.
everything we just never.
Why
mind.
do we always tell a story in Act 2? I feel like Act 1 we're like, hey,
Act one, it's
here's
like,
what it's about.
we kick it off.
And then Act 3 we.
But wait for Act 3. Act 3 is like, never mind.
All
just
right.
read the
Okay,
copy.
read the copy. Okay. Act 3.
Act 3.
Act 3.
Act 3.
TikTok user. TikTok user at Moles Are Cool proposed the following solution, and I think it's pretty
Moles
intriguing.
are cool.
They are. And he has a cool solution to this.
Good point. It's all right. Good.
What if the U.S. makes good on their agreements and pays the indigenous tribes a major portion of the profits extracted from this lithium deposit?
Okay. It's a start.
It's a start.
Yeah.
And what if it's not just the local tribes living there on that particular reservation? What if the government pays all the tribes of the United States for retribution of lands and lives lost, and a special thank you for the nation that we inhabit today?
I think that would be dandy. That it doesn't solve the one. Noel ruins the show. It doesn't solve the one, I think, important issue, which is even if you paid them, do they want you to do it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question.
Right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I got to believe that there's a reason they call it sacred, and there's a reason that they find the area important. I mean, we discussed how horrible it was, and that there's a reason why they'd rather people leave it alone.
Yeah.
My thought on it is okay, if you can crack a deal that they're happy with and take it, well, not take it, but lease it, basically. Like get the rights to have it, and I agree with all that. If you can get agreement from the 27
tribes.
From the 27 tribes that are affected, that this is okay and that we're willing to do this, and this is a good use of the land, and maybe at least an upside to the disasters of the past.
Yeah.
With the apology and with everything else, then I say, let's the no-brainer, let's do it. It's easy lithium to get. Let's go for it. But I mean, would America be okay if China came in and said we want Yellowstone? I mean, would they? Would America be like, but we're going to we're going to pay you for it? You're going to get.
What do you mean?
Well, like, let's suppose. All right, what's something that America has? Let's say the oil in Texas.
Right.
Let's suppose that we don't want to produce oil anymore, but we still have Texas.
Yeah.
Right.
And so the Chinese want to produce oil, and they say to us, okay, they first come in by just notifying you, we're going to be drilling oil and then taking it away. So just heads up, here's it's coming. And they only tell Texas and like Oklahoma, and they don't tell the rest of us, right? And then we're like, wait, that's not it's our land, it's our oil. So you can't we don't do that anymore. We don't want you to take our oil. Then they're like, oh gosh, well, okay, so we can just do it, take it, or I guess we can come up with an idea where how about we pay you for it? We're going to give you all the money that you want. And we're going to say that we're sorry for asking the way we did and everything else, and then we're not going to blow you up. We're just going to take the oil and then give you a good healthy percentage of the profit for it. And we're like, yeah, but we don't want you to take it's ours. We're America. You can't take our oil, so we're not going to accept that. You don't get to have our oil, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if China was strong enough to be like, no,
Gonna take it anyway.
we're going to take your oil, and they took the oil away? And how would America feel about that?
Not great.
Not great.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to do this battery thing. We've got a lot of corporate interest in doing this battery thing. We've got a lot of money put in the idea that we're going to mine the crap out of the land. We're going to strip mine the entire planet in order to make sure we have enough batteries that everybody can drive around an electric car.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to be good for the environment.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's not.
I'm sorry that it's not.
Yeah.
I wish I could sit here and tell you that the solution that they have today to do this is a good one, but it's kind of not.
Yeah. Yeah.
We could come up with better ones.
It solves one problem and adds 5 more.
We are going to be cursed in 50 years for what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, where's the money? It's the same. We have the same problem today as we had when they found oil, because at the time oil was miraculous. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Such energy density in liquid. So easy to get energy out of the ground, and we can use it. And think of how we could change the world. Think of how easy we could make the world with this wonderful black material.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And we did. Look at how we live. Look at the malaise that you have in the Western world. How easy it is to live here.
Yeah.
We're like, we could sit on a couch and sit on a phone the entire day. I have watched so many people in my life just sit there and have their day disappear still in a space. I watch people on a date and they don't talk to each other. They might text each other on the date. It's like we have gotten ourselves to a point where things are miraculously easy compared to what they used to be when you just struggled to eat.
Yeah.
When you didn't know if you had water. We have changed things because of oil. It was miraculous. It was amazing. And now we see there was a cost.
Yeah.
There is going to be a cost to this, to keep going this way. And I get that this is a way to make the cost less for the environment, but I'm going to ask the question again, should we be doing this?
Yeah.
Well, here's the question: what's the alternative?
I mean, we haven't looked at it, but there's tons of alternatives. I mean, hydrogen is one people look at a lot. You could make cars that are just as effective and awesome with hydrogen. You could. It's one way to go about it. We are moving along pretty fast. We had a podcast about it a while ago where we talk about the progress we're making in fusion, right? Mm-hmm. It comes down to, can we get energy? Mm-hmm. Can we have energy and can we store it? Are there better ways to store it? There are. There definitely are. Look where we are now. 50 years ago, a lithium-ion battery was a joke. Like, what are you even talking about? You can't do that.
Yeah.
Not even thought about. So, like, why are we kind of insisting on going on this path when we know that we're trying to tell each other this path is going to be fine. It's going to be great. It's going to be easy. It's going to solve the problem. It's not. We have to look harder at what else can be done. How can we make a better battery? How can we make a better vehicle? How can we move ourselves more efficiently? I mean, I just got back from Washington. I was in the city of Washington. I never got into a car once. Wow. I spent the whole time on trains or walking because of the way the city was built. We don't even build our cities right. Like we don't do it right here where you can, like in Europe, it's actually pretty easy. You can have a bicycle in Holland and never get a car because you can basically bicycle everywhere. And that is zero emission, folks.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot we could do by just changing the way that we think about life and the way we organize things. And there would be a lot of money to make and a lot of economic benefit to changing the way we live so that we're a little more localized.
Yeah.
But we're so interested in being globalized and trading stuff everywhere and making more and more and more and more money. Sorry. That we don't look at it that way because the powers that be don't want us to.
Yeah.
It feels like we're actually cavalier enough again, like we were 150 years ago, grabbing oil, as we are with mining cobalt, mining lithium, mining all this kind of stuff, and thinking nothing bad can happen to this.
Yeah.
And yet it's the same problem.
We've done episodes on cobalt. It's a nightmare, man. There's children dying in holes they dug themselves. They're digging their own graves looking for cobalt. It sucks. Yeah. And we're fine with it. I think that what I'm trying to say is this. I like the solution from the moles are cool. Moles are awesome.
Moles are cool.
Moles are cool. I think if we're gonna do it, and we're probably gonna do it because that's just what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's at least do that. It's like the minimum we should do. But I don't love the idea of taking more from a group that is like, as much as we say we appreciate them and we like them, no one ever talks about reparations for indigenous people for the fact that we took the entire continent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we took a continent. Okay?
Yeah.
So and I'm not even like that much of a progressive guy, although I think sometimes it sounds like it on the show, doesn't it?
No, you definitely are more progressive than I think you lead on.
I think I might be more progressive.
Yeah.
I'm a closet progressive.
I think you are.
No, because I do understand that wars happen and that people win, people lose, and that's like, it just, things kind of are the way they are, and that's, you just have to live with that. I actually kind of have come to grips with that a little bit, but I don't think that we should continue acting like that when we know better.
Yeah.
Right? Like I will forgive the sins of people from a different time who didn't think about it, who just thought of war is war and conquest is conquest, and this is the way we do it, and we kill each other and we're tribal, and that's kind of how we were. Yeah. We were a lot more like lions there and bears than we were like people. But now we have oil, we have lithium, we have these things. We have time to sit there on a phone and contemplate and consider what we should be doing to others, how we should be treating others, how we should all be with one another. And if we have time to do that, we should do better. And I don't think we're doing better by just saying we'll give you a bunch of money and then take it anyway.
Here's the thing. And we have a decision to make when putting this show together is, there's a reason why when we pointed the show a certain way, we were trying to uplift and give people a vantage point. But this is a tough subject. It is Indigenous Peoples Month. This is November. Yeah. This is a time where you reflect upon just how terrible it was. And Noel, you and I recently did a tour when we were visiting another city that was all about like how much we took from them, and it was gut-wrenching.
That
Actually,
was
we all did
brutal.
that together, didn't we? Weren't you there, Veronica?
No, she wasn't in St. Louis.
Oh, that was St. Louis.
That's when we were in East. No, we were in West St. Louis.
We were
There
in
is
West-
only St. Louis.
Only St.
There is no
Louis.
West St. Louis.
So we were there, and we were on this tour, and it's gut-wrenching. It's horrible, and the more you know, the worse it gets. It just gets terrible. And so when Clayton and I were talking about doing this subject, we knew that it comes riddled with problems. And so that leads us kind of to the next point, which is the idea of billions of dollars being paid to them and all these tribes is nice, and whether we'll do that or not. But it goes back to the point, and this is what Clayton and I were talking about, is we said we're a beacon of light in a gloomy environment, and that actually really plays here the most, which is one thing that we do as a service is we shine a light on the information. We give the public knowledge about what is occurring. Because when things like this begin to happen and the public knows that the Native American land is being looked at and sought after, and if you are aware, then you can watch them. You can pay attention into what deals are being made, what's being done. It's like recently with the Native American lands in Tulsa, Oklahoma, when the Supreme Court realized that they had taken over all this Native American land, everybody there was so cocky and sure that the Supreme Court was going to come through and go, yeah, sorry, no, we're going to change the ruling. And they're like, nope. Not at all. We're upholding it because everybody knew it was happening. It was public. It was available. The information was there. So I'd like to believe that if we can inform the public, give them the knowledge and information that there's this massive lithium area that is being sought after, but it's on sacred Native American ground. You now know about it. And they know you know about it. And if you live in that area, or you can get involved and you can know that whatever's going to be done in this land, it's done in the right way and the ethical way.
Yeah, I think that it should be painfully expensive to get it. Like anytime you negotiate with someone for something you really want,
Yeah.
it hurts both sides.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like we've put ourselves in a situation where both sides feel it. So if we're going to go this direction and we're just going to take it, then the negotiations should be painful for the companies that are profiting.
Yeah.
They should get that, and they should be like, ugh, I'm not sure if I want to do it. But we can make money on it. But can we figure this out? Can we make it? Was it worthwhile? It should be a tough decision for all sides. It should be one of those things where it is painful for the battery manufacturers. I mean, most likely Tesla is who we're talking about here, to take the deal. It should be one thing where they're paying out a lot. And it hurts. And it's like, God, I wish we didn't have to pay this much, but we're making a lot of money and it's worth it. So we're going to do it even though it sucks. That's how a negotiation usually goes. And it really hasn't when you're talking about most of these situations.
Yeah.
So that's what I would look out for. If you're following it, I hope that you will be now.
Yeah.
Is like if we're going to go this way, as suggested, I think by a mole lover, and we all are mole lovers here, then let's make sure it hurts.
And you know that number will be very high because somebody's already willing to pay $44 billion for a pile of crap, and he runs Tesla. So
No, he doesn't. He runs X.
Let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Thus far, maybe it'll work out later. You never know.
yeah.
The world changes.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. I want to know from both of you, knowing, Noel, the conundrum that you brought up of the situation we got ourselves into,
Yeah.
oil and the new grab of gold, of lithium and cobalt and all this stuff that is literally going to be frying, again, our planet.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts about the public and what we can think about in your own home of what we can do?
I absolutely do. I think we need to, people need to first of all get a better understanding of what a battery is and how a battery works. Okay, so that's the first piece of the puzzle, right? And also that there are lots of ways to consider it. All a battery is a way to keep energy in one place. We talked last week about the fact that energy doesn't go away, right? It's either stored somewhere or it moves, right? But there's always it's always there. So it's just a matter of keeping it in one place. Like an interesting thing we've talked about before is, and this is not going to work for a car, but it's just to get people's minds in the right place, is you can use a dam to make energy, okay? To be a battery. It's a gigantic dam-sized battery. By pumping water upstream and keeping it from going through the dam and then back on down, you're pausing when you're generating that energy. And by pausing generating that energy, you've turned it into a battery because you've kept the energy in one place. you're using that energy instead of running through and creating more, you're using the energy to push it back upstream. And so by pushing all that water back upstream and using all the energy that way, you're keeping the energy in one place. And then it runs through later when you need it. That's a way of making a dam into a gigantic battery. So if people understand, and I'm talking to the little kids, and we should probably consider doing a show about this or something.
It's a good idea.
But if we have a better understanding of how you can keep energy in one place, and we start thinking a little more outside of the box of how can this be done, right? Then we can probably find a better way to store energy. And if we can find a better way to store energy, then we don't have to have such gigantic batteries that are taking up the space in the cars and the phones and the everything, right? Mm-hmm. The other thing is, how do we generate energy? Like we shut things off. We consider that nuclear is bad because nuclear bombs are bad. They're not the same thing. A nuclear power plant is not the same thing as a nuclear bomb. It's different. It's different. We can't shut off ideas about how we generate energy just because we want people who sell windmills and solar panels to make more money, because that's kind of what we're doing. So I think that if we start looking at that also, and what's a better way to do that? What are the best ways to generate energy? Because if we come up with better ways to generate energy and better ways to store energy, then we can do whatever we want. The next part about it is, how do we keep ourselves closer to home? Instead of having to, like in Los Angeles, it's insane. You live in the Inland Empire, and then you work in downtown, and that's a massive waste of energy. It's a huge waste of energy to have to get yourself all the way from there all the way to the middle of the city. So why don't we have things built a little more efficiently, a little more better, a little more better? That's how Noel talks. That's another thing we could look at. Like, one of the things COVID was a nightmare, but one of the things that was kind of interesting about it, kind of maybe good, was that people started saying, wait a minute, I can do a lot of this work where I am. And if more work can be done where I am, and more people can go to other places where they can stay close and then go to the butcher and go to the bakery and do all the stuff locally and close and walk around to wherever they're doing their business, and walk to the coffee shop. Just like all of that stuff is better for your health. It's better for the environment and better for your sanity. So this is a big thing about it, is where do we waste energy? And right now in America, because we had such an abundance, because we controlled oil, we just wasted energy. We just did whatever we wanted. And I don't know that we have to. I think you can live a really fulfilling, wonderful, amazing life if you don't do that, and you start thinking a little more about thinking locally, which we talk about all the time on the show. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it really is. You have to change your mind frame on things. And then for the young people who are looking at, oh God, there's nothing to do, and there's no jobs, there's no work, there's nothing left. You're wrong. You're wrong. There is an entire world that needs to be saved, and it needs your beautiful, wonderful minds to work on it. And guess what? If you're the one who figures that out, then you're the one who gets to make those batteries. You get to build those batteries and hire all the people who are going to make those batteries. And now, well, look at that. You've got some interesting life. You've got some interesting jobs. You've got some interesting things going on. We can't say that creativity is over. We can't say that jobs are over. We can't say, oh, I deserve a job and you haven't given. No. There's problems. Fix them. Let's fix the problems. Then you'll have your job. No, you have your job. You'll have lots and lots of money. That's what I think the solution is. I think we need to turn ourselves back into the creative engines that we are and go get it. That's what I think.
I second everything Noel said.
Jake, any thoughts from you?
No, I mean, I said it as well as anyone could say it, and that was a Noel powerful speech right there. And I believe in everything he said, and I think it's very true. I think that this show has always been very tricky and complicated to navigate, because we have a lot of people out there, I know, like people like me, who often feel helpless and feel like you're just a cog in the machine. You get up every day, your kids go to school, you go to your job, you come home, you have your dinner, you go to bed, and the cycle repeats. And you go, how the hell am I supposed to make any difference out there? I'm just trying to survive. I'm just trying to pay my bills. I'm just trying to make sure my kid doesn't shoot up a school. I'm trying to do the right thing here. And it's really hard when you talk about energy conservation and what kind of car I'm supposed to buy. And, oh, everybody's buying Teslas now. I can't afford a Tesla. So I continue to encourage people that when we make shows like this, we want to help share information with you that's understandable and accessible. Because sometimes science jargon and environmental topics become these buzzwords and this greenwashing nonsense that just flies over your heads and makes everybody pat themselves in the back and be like, look, I'm so sustainable. But the truth is, you're just trying to get by and survive and wherever you live in the world. And there are people out there that I believe are trying to do the right thing. I do believe that there's good innovation and technology, and they're working on it. They're working really hard. And then there's also people with a lot of money that are not doing the right thing. And knowing how to separate those two is huge. Knowing who's trying to buy you and the other people who are trying to help you, and understanding which is which. And hopefully we can help you decipher between the two. I don't know if we always can. But I want us to come up with a better solution. He's right. We're right in talking about that this battery thing is going to be a problem. And the more you understand that, the more you can feel okay. Like, you don't have to go buy the Tesla. You don't have to go buy the electric car. Maybe you just need to find a way to carpool. Maybe you need to find a way to not drive as far away like you talked about. Maybe there's a lot of smaller things you can do. Because really the people who can make a difference for you every day are the people that were buying their shit. They're the ones who are responsible to fix this. So you rest assured, you go to bed every night and know the more informed you are, the more you understand, the more you can make a difference. But there are some major players in this world that need to figure this out so that you can get on with your day and take care of your family.
Jacob dropped 2 SH bombs in one monologue. That was amazing.
Set a precedent here, guys.
That was amazing. I'm so glad Jacob's going to be in trouble this time.
I'm in trouble.
Wow.
So
that was awesome.
Well,
the passion.
Yes.
It burns. I think
No, it's really good.
just to piggyback onto what you're talking about. I loved what you said about it's like don't hate thy neighbor. You know?
Yeah.
That's not a commandment, but let's add it. Let's add it. Let's get another tablet.
Yeah.
Remember in the History of the World, Part 1.
The Lord Jehovah has given unto you these 10 commandments.
These 10 commandments.
Yeah.
So no, your neighbor who you think doesn't care cares.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Most people actually do. They really do. You just get caught up in what it is. And my call really is to the younger people who feel like there's no hope, who feel like there's nothing they can do. There's no way to fix my financial situation. There's no way to change. I encourage anybody who's listening to the show to watch. There's this really awesome series that was put on National Geographic, and it's about Einstein, and it's called Genius. And I think you could see it now on maybe Netflix or Hulu. I don't know. I wish I knew. I should be. Well, I think we watched it on Netflix, but it's Genius. It's called Genius, and it tells you the story of Einstein. Okay, from as a kid all the way up to the old man who he was at the end. And the thing that's so great about the show is the entire point of the show is he got where he was because he never stopped being curious. He was curious. And he kept asking the next question. What's the next question? What's the next question? Well, then why this? Well, then why? Well, then why? Well, then why? Well, then why?
Yeah.
So if you want to solve this problem, what you do is you find out what we know so far about batteries. And then you ask a lot of whys. A lot of whys. And you look at it differently. You look at it from 1,000 different directions. And why not you? Why not you? Desperate person who's wondering what to do with your life? Why couldn't you be the one who figures it out? Of course you could. You've got a mind. You know how freaking brilliant people are, actually, when they get out of their own way? Go get it. Go get it. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And leave your poor neighbors alone. They're trying, man. Those of us who are too old and it's too late.
Just trying to get by.
We're just trying. Yes. Like it's like I said earlier, it's like I can't get it. I can't. If I spent money now to replace my car with an electric, I can still make my car work. It still goes. If I tried to replace that with the electric car today, well then how am I supposed to get my kid through what she's doing? And this is the problem that everybody has. Yeah. We all are trying to deal with the next thing. For some people, it's just where is the next banana? Yeah. You know, and everybody needs their banana, man. Everybody have to eat their banana. You know what I mean?
As the great Sheryl Crow said.
Gonna tell
having what you want It's about wanting what
what
you
you've got.
have. Start at home. If you don't have a Tesla, that's okay. You got a bicycle?
And remember, all I want to do is have some fun.
And
I got a feeling I'm not the only one.
all I want to
Oh,
do.
Sheryl
Do we have to
Crow.
license that now? Do we sing too much?
Sheryl Crow, you
I'll
wise.
Could someone bleep that we sang that song?
That's a long bleep.
Entire song. It is. All right.
I think we're okay. So that's it.
That's it?
That's it. I had a bunch of stuff there at the end, but we just
Oh,
shared
well,
our thing.
before we go,
So much
can you
better than it
explain
was.
to me how, why we still have Halloween back? It's obviously November.
Not in our angle.
Not
buddy.
in our angle.
What?
Not
We
in-
turned it off?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
So there is.
That's amazing.
There's no evidence
There's
that
no
we're
such thing as
recording this
Halloween.
still on Halloween.
Oh, no, Wally.
Oh, it's a.
Okay, what you say? We talk about. They said was name has a worry. A worry was in the circle. You go, whoa, worry. Turning in a circle, going to couple of times.
For those of you who cannot see, Noel Carroll has now regressed to 3 years old.
Is it gonna turn at the capital to worry? Not whoa, not whoa, not whoa. It's
A 3-year-old with a speech impediment.
worry. It's not whoa. It's not worry. It's worry with your L.
All right, so maybe he's 2.5 years
It's
old.
a whoa with an L.
Very
It's
young. Very young.
Very, very young little boy.
We've given all we
ghost.
can on this
Hell.
show, and we have to go commit Noel now.
Oh, he committed.
You know, he committed
to that
to
joke.
the bit. He committed to the bit. But that's.
Hey, that's a look.
that's
It's a good way to kick off. It's Indigenous Peoples Month, right?
Indigenous Peoples Month, and we started with butt prints and detectives, and we ended in a place that I was like, "Wow, we got."
Welcome to the Biofriendly Podcast.
Welcome to the Biofriendly Podcast.
Yeah.
So, with that, we get out of here.
Do we get? Are we done?
Yes.
Is that the show?
That's the
That's
show.
the show, buddy.
Okay.
That's the show.
You
That's
guys
the
are
show.
great.
Do we even bother with the taggy tag?
What are you
wanna
talking
do
about? It's like
tags?
it's a show. We got to.
Okay,
What
we'll do
kind of
tags.
monster?
All right.
We are your beacon of light in a gloomy environment.
Bringing you top quality content since 1823.
Science without the stiffness,
Green without the groaning.
inspiring fear and love.
This show is about patience.
Careful, you'll catch feelings.
Kerosene Guy and Corn Dog Rogers have had a lifelong battle in my head.
Let us do the. No, it's not that one. It's that. Oh, we are. No, on this show, we'll turn your enemies into friends.
We're down with the hooey.
Let us do the teaching, because you're terrible at it.
I'm not fearless. No, I don't have gumption. I'm a zombie.
We did it.
Oh my God, we're getting
And
back at this. We're figuring this out.
And then, Clayton, anything to add?
Gassed or flagging since 2023.
We sure have been.
And Veronica, what do you say?
Happy nuggets.
Oh.
And stop and smell the flowers.
We did it.
Did it.
We solved it all.
Have a good one, everybody.
It's the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.